Hello, BookTube. So I'm gonna go through all the books that I read in 2024. I'm realizing that I'm gonna need to speedrun this. Like, I cannot be giving like 10-minute descriptions per book because we'd be here for a while. We'd be here for hours. I read, look at my list. I believe I read like 43 books plus random small things. Pretty much, I didn't despise any of these books that I read. I'll tell you the ones that I really liked. I will not be rating things on a scale of 1 to 5 because I'm easy to please when it comes to books. I really am. I'm not gonna pick up a book in a genre that I truly don't believe that I'm going to like or that I'm not hearing a whole bunch of things about. I have the inability to rate everything on a scale of 1 to 5. Like, sure, they can all be 5s. I don't really care. I hate rating things, so I will not be rating them. But I will be giving you what I remember about them also, because do I even remember the books that I read at the beginning of last January? Questionable. I mean, I guess that means that some of them just didn't stick very well. Some I do remember. And there you go. The ones that I remember the most are the ones that I like the most, and you can interpret that as you will. So, I don't have all the books with me because some of them were library books, and then I had to start buying books because I went through pretty much all of them at the library that I wanted to read. I also need to say that, yeah, 2024 was the first year that I read for fun for an entire year since literally middle school. Like, that's a whole other thing on its own, but this was a big break for me. It really was, and I did not see this coming in my life. I did not see reading to be something I was ever gonna do again, but we're here now. So, the first book that I read last year was Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I had read her book, The Cheat Sheet, and I really liked that one. Apparently this was the second book in the series, and you're gonna see in a few books down the line that I read the first book in the series. I hate it when books don't label clearly book 1, book 2. Why are you making it hard? So yeah, I read the second book first. It was some small town book. Some pop star gets stranded there and then gets with a baker. It was cute. It wasn't anything too crazy, too special, but I was content with it. Hello from me in the future editing. Apparently I can't remember books. And this one that I'm talking about, yes, it is the sequel, but this one is all about the bodyguard of the pop star getting with the guy that she got with in the first book. It's his sister gets with the pop star's bodyguard. Oopsies. Next, I read The Dating Plan. I think they were at a convention or something. I don't know. It was in third person, and honestly, that kind of that makes me not want to read a book that much. I'm not a third person person. I'm not a third person person. I'm not one for reading a third person book. I like to be in their heads. We need first person, but it was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. Am I looking to read another one of her books this instant? No. Now we get into a good one. Then I read King of Wrath by Anna Huang. We're gonna see a lot of Anna Huang throughout all of these books because I'm almost done reading every single one of her books. You know what? If you need me to rate someone, then I'm gonna rate her 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, whatever in the world you want. I will read anything that she writes. So yeah, that was our first of King of Sins, and she just writes them right. She knows how to write those billionaire relationship men, lots of chaos, and then intertwined with all the other characters in the other books. It's great. It's wonderful. I'll be continuing reading more. Next, I read When in Rome by Sarah Adams. So yes, this is the first book in the series. I don't remember what the difference was between the first and the second book. I don't remember too much. Next, I read The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I really do like her books as well. I think this book was the first one in a new spin-off series. So I think that these were her kid, or not her kids. These were the kids of the main characters in her first series. So it was a second generation type of thing. Hockey player, stuff. Super cute book. Then I read King of Pride by Anna Huang. So we got the second book in the King of Sins series. I don't think I liked one more than the other so far. They were just good. They were a good read. Then I read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins because I had saw the movie like right when it came out. Actually, I think I went to the opening night of it because that was just a big throwback and a big make me happy getting to watch another Hunger Games movie because I was crazy about the Hunger Games. Like, no, like crazy. Like, yeah. Like, I was at the midnight premieres. And actually, for this one, I was like, oh my God, I need to go to the midnight premiere. Full circle moment. I find out that movies aren't really doing midnight premieres anymore. Like, that's so lame. They were like, oh, you can go at 7 p.m. the night before it comes out, and that's their midnight premiere? What is that? That's not a midnight movie release. Can we bring those back? Anyways, I think the book was at a very good pace, and I actually understood what happened in the movie because I had no idea a single character's name going into the movie when I watched it a bit before, so this actually helped me understand what in the world went on. Well, apparently I was reading my fantasy dystopian books all in a row because then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, I think we all have heard enough about the ACOTAR series, so I don't need to go into much detail. I am glad that I experienced it. I will say, don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't come at me, don't hurt me. I'm not jumping to read the rest of them. If I never complete the series, I'm really not gonna care that much. Don't kill me! If I never read the other books, I'm never gonna find out why no one likes Tamlin, because at this point, he was the one that she was with, and that's all I know. So I guess I'm never gonna figure out why we don't like Tamlin. See, now, after I read that one, I was like, do I really wanna try another fantasy book? Like, I think we can tell that I'm here for the romance books. But then I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I was not expecting to get into it as much as I did. I was like in tears over dragons. I felt bad for Andarna. Like, I felt empathy for dragons. You don't even need to get me started on Xaden. Like, I think you already know. I mean, I was instantly just on my hands and knees, like barking like a dog for him. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna describe Fourth Wing. Yeah. At the time of we're filming this, literally the day before you're gonna see this video, yeah, I did just finish Onyx Storm in literally a week. That's crazy. I read like a 500-page book in like 1 week. What are we doing? Not even a week, like a couple days. And as we can tell, I was like trying to go through and just read like the books that were getting like a lot of hype and stuff because like I want to know the hype. I want to feel the hype too. Okay. Then I read Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Yeah, some people are like insane about this series. I thought it was super cute. I really did like the relationships and everything. It was a bit long. As I just said, I quickly just read Onyx Storm, like this Binding 13. It was long, and it started feeling a bit too long for me. Like, I got through it. They're like high school kids, so I feel like that's a bit different than all the other books. I did start reading the second one, and then I think it was due back at the library, and I just never cared to renew it because again, it was just so long. And like, she's got like 6, 7, I don't know, 8 of these books. They're just really long for me. No, actually then I think the second book, they started getting into like a whole lot of like trauma and stuff. There's a lot of family trauma, abuse and stuff. And I'm like, I like my Happy Sunshine books. So, and then I read The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This was, I think, the second book in like the original series, so it's like The Deal, I think is the first one. I don't know. Again, I only remember as much as I can. And then I did read The Mistake. I do really like the series. It's like a Hockey Boys series, so she's another like very good author that I do enjoy. Ooh, and then we had another good read. We had, do I have any of these books? We're gonna get to the point soon where I had to start buying books because you're gonna find out when the library started not having enough for me. And I read King of Greed by Anna Huang. Need I say any more? Literally just go read it if you wanna have like spicy billionaire reads. Yeah, you need it in your life. And then we have Haunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. Yes, I did read Haunting Adeline, end of 2023. You know what, sometimes you just gotta be disturbed a little bit. That was my mindset going into this. And it's just not typically my topic of choice. Seeing that the first half of the book was literally Addie in like a sex trafficking ring house type of thing. But then it's fine, then Zayd swoops in. Oh yeah, Zayd Meadows. Oh yeah. he swoops in, he saves the day. We love Zaid. I don't know, I do just enjoy how she writes her books. And again, I don't know if I was like, wow, I didn't think I'd be a dark romance person, but like every little bit you just gotta, you know, disturb yourself a little bit. And I just very much enjoy the way she writes. It's a very just natural, easy read. I think that's why I like the Anna Huang books too, because I just can't explain it. That's just very easy, like voice to read. It's like you're very much in the character's head. They did a good job with their character development. Oh, now I have a book to show you. Well, I think it's not this one. It's not this one. Well, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but you might judge me for this read. You might judge me. So this book's called Get in My Swamp. Is it technically like a Shrek fanfic? Yeah. I'll just read you the back, because we have the back. Oh, do you want this image to stay up? You want to keep looking? Listen, this was a very short read. I think it's like 100-something pages. I read it in one night. You know, sometimes you just need something weird in your life. When Leona stumbles upon Beck, the ogres... Okay, I don't like how that's grammatically formatted. Okay, starting over. When Leona stumbles upon Beck, the ogre's trap, and becomes his prisoner, she's determined to get away. But it doesn't take long for things to start heating up between the two. Beck is trying to protect her, and Leona can't help her body's reaction to the buff green monster. The lines between captive and captor become blurry, and the passion becomes a raging fire neither of them can put out. Yeah, okay, that, you know what, sometimes I don't even want it on the top. I don't want you looking at it. All I remember is that he put her in like a little dog cage, and then, I don't know, she started like touching around on herself, and she was like, yeah, you wish you were in this cage with me? Yeah, you gonna let me out? Yeah. Yeah. And then, and now, moving on. Then I read Where's Molly by H.G. Carlton. Molly's kind of introduced as these like letters that Addie finds in the sex trafficking house, because Molly was also previously went through this trafficking house. Again, weird topics that I'm reading about, but okay. She was a pig farmer, and then yeah, the guy she got with was the one who was assigned to like bring her dead bodies to feed her pigs. And then they got freaky by the pigs eating the dead bodies. Okay. And then I read Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Again, we don't need to go into too much detail. I did really like Iron Flame. I don't think I pick up on a lot of the foreshadowing or like small little things in there. Sorry, I'm reading for my own enjoyment. I am reading for fun. I am not taking notes. Like, these are fun reads. So sorry if I never am able to understand all the theories that people are coming up with, but I'll read them after. But I will probably never be contributing to them because, yeah, I don't read like that. Great. See, now you're gonna question who I am based on some of these reads, but I really just wanted to get a full variety of, like, all the book talk books. Okay. Now we read Satan's Affair by H.G. Carlton. So this is following the girl Sibby. Sibby is who I was for Halloween. Great. Now you're gonna be like, you were her for Halloween? Well, you haven't heard the description yet. Yeah, so Sibby kind of just lives in the walls of these traveling haunted like circus things, and when people come in, and it's usually guys, and if they smell, she has a special scent ability. I don't think she really does, but she thinks she does, and what Sibby thinks, Sibby does. They come in and to go through the haunted house, and she's like, you're an impure person, you're a bad person, and then she just lures them into a room and kills them. Yeah. She's got these henchmen. Her and these henchmen, they be getting wild. They be getting down and wild within the walls. Yeah, the henchmen are just in her head. So, she's a vibe. I'm so serious that, like, I will play Sibby in the movie adaptation. Like, they're gonna call me. Like, call me. Okay? No one would do Sibby better than me. No, I can't say that. No, like, I'm not crazy like that. My point, I don't have a good point. I don't have a good point besides just being like, it'd be fun to be crazy. I'll play her in the movie, thank you very much. Next, we have King of Sloth, Stupid Target. Why are we putting these stickers on? I really cannot get it off. Oh, this one has exclusive art. I don't even remember it. Oh, look, here's a visual. Here's who we were working with. This is Sloan and Xavier, right? Yeah. Sloan is his publicist, and Xavier's like crazy party boy, always getting in trouble, and she's got to get him out of it. Again, an Anna Huang read, always a win in my book. See what I did there? I'm literally so hilarious. Okay, then I read this book, Broken Flames. So this I just saw on TikTok, literally from the author advertising it. I think this was another like self-published, indie published one, and it was advertised as like a Izuko and Katara type of spin-off of like those characters getting together. So we had like this version's Water Kingdom, and he was Fire Kingdom, but in this book they have like an arranged marriage and all of that. I think it honestly might have ended on a cliffhanger, and I like don't even remember that, and like I don't think I'm gonna be reading the second book. I only read it because Zuko's just so hot, so I was like, yeah, you sold me by just saying that this book had a Fire Kingdom man inspired by Zuko. That was enough to get me to read it. Again, I'm easy to sell on a book. I really am. This was, I think, the only book that I read that was written by a guy. This is like a novel book. We have some other books later. I watched this movie, The Dreamers, and then for some reason I was like, yeah, I really want to read this book. When did this even come out? This was like a bit of an older one. I feel like all the books I'm reading are like pretty recent. This is the 2004 book, so look at me expanding my horizons. Great, now you're gonna feel weird by the way I explained that I watched this movie and then decided that I really wanted to read the book version. Oh, apparently this book was taking place in Paris in 1968. Yeah, I really didn't get the historical stuff they were talking about, but there was some political things, people gas bombing, I don't know. The main premise was the twins, they were kind of into like kissing each other and like doing stuff with each other. And then they invite the American guy and they're like, just like stay at our house for an extended period of time with us. And then they just do things together. I don't know, they were in the bathtub at one point. Moving on, that's enough. I don't know why I was reading incest. My bad. Oopsies. And then, now we're returning to a more like normal mainstream book. Now I have The Score by Elle Kennedy, the third book in that series. Again, super cute. I'm such a fan of them. Are her books becoming a TV series? Am I remembering this wrong? Am I making this up? Because I know we just got like the Anna Huang announcement that the Twisted series is. Hold on. Off-campus TV show based on Elle Kennedy's books coming to Amazon. Okay, I'm not making it up. So that was the third one, and now the fourth book. I'm refusing to read the fourth book after I just told you how much I loved this series, how much I loved her. But yeah, the fourth book, they're all like hockey team, college stuff. It's a stupid pregnancy trope. I don't want to read about characters having babies. No, that takes the fun out of it. I don't want that in my life. Even though I loved all the books in the series, I guess I'm never reading the fourth book, and I'll just watch it when it comes out on TV. Do I own this book? I thought I did. Where did she go? No, maybe I don't. I should. Okay, actually, why am I saying I should? I'm acting like I would ever reread books. I don't see myself to be a book rereader. And people are like mainly doing that recently. I'm hearing like, they're like, oh, for Onyx Storm, I'm gonna reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Those are big books. You think I have time to reread all these books before I'm gonna read the new release? I got so many books to read. I don't have time for that. I do enjoy buying my books now because I do feel like I am supporting the authors, and I like that. We love them. Because I first watched the movie, The Idea of You by Robin Lee. And I loved this movie. I was so into it. And I was like, I have to read the book. So she's like 40 years old and she gets with like a 21-year-old like boy band pop star. And she goes traveling with them, having her fun. But then it's like her daughter's they make the daughter a different age between, I think in the book she was only in 8th grade, and then the movie I think they made her a high schooler, maybe, something like that. I don't know, but then her daughter gets all, man, Mom, now people are making fun of me because you're like being spotted with this celebrity. I would be like, well, that's too bad. They've already seen it. I don't know, that it frustrated me because I would have stayed with that pop star. You think I'd be turning him down? No. No. Now we're getting back to another dark romance read. Again, I just need to experience like all the ones that I see people talking about because I want to know what all the excitement is about. So then I read The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. And yeah, it was a dark romance moment. It really was. I don't know, there's some secret society, and then the guys are just like, I claim her to be my chosen one. It does, literally, the back, the chosen one. I vow, you vow, we vow. Anyways, he's just like, she's mine. And I don't know, they got some secret little society. Then they started bringing in all these like family dynamics and like, I don't know. I had no idea what the family dynamics meant of who his dad was, who were her parents, and I don't know. I was just there for them and their relationship, and I don't think I understood the bigger picture, and that's all right. I don't know. This girl really needed to learn to stop drinking clear liquids from this boy because he just liked to make her pass out. It's questionable. You know, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I want to date him. I want to be with him. I personally don't. Personally, I don't want that in my life, but like I'll read it in a book, okay? And now this is where I started going back to Anna Huang's like first, the like If Love series, I believe it's called, and see how she has hers nicely labeled book 1. Thank you, Anna, for labeling your books. And now this one, this is where I was a little skeptical after I bought it because it's in 3rd person. We've already established how I feel about 3rd person, but I was like, I'll do it for Anna. I will do it. It was cute. These definitely weren't as spicy as the other ones, but she does straight up say that on her website. Still really liked the story and stuff. They were at like a study abroad program. I keep thinking that I have these books, but I don't. I don't remember what I got from the library and what I didn't. Then I read Night Shift by Annie Crown. This book was originally on Wattpad and then got adapted. And you know what? That to me just screams, oh, it's going to be something I like. I truly love the basic, like, they're not even basic because they're really good stories. But things that are adapted from Wattpad stories, oh, they're good. They're good. That means people already loved it and went crazy about them. And it got to become a book. So that's awesome. This girl worked in a library, and then he was like the basketball player or something. I think he was on the basketball team. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I don't know. He like comes in and he needed help with something, and like they're just flirty like right off the bat, and it was super cute. I think there was some miscommunication trope throughout, and then I think that was just annoying because they literally could have just had a conversation and cleared things up, but they had to struggle for like 100 pages about that. Then I think I listened to this on an audiobook. I'm really not an audiobook person, but I was like, let's test it out a little bit. So The Summer I Turned Pretty, I watched it already on Amazon, whatever in the world it's on. Going from watching it to listening to the audiobook, I realized that I had like no memory of the series. It was cute. I just hate things that have like sad backstories for the parents, and I just did not need to read about that. I just like my books to be all happy and cute, which it mainly was, but oh my gosh, what is this one? The girl's name was Belly. Yeah, her like nickname was Belly. I don't know. I wouldn't have named my character Belly, but Obviously, she's adapted it to a TV series, so I think she's doing just fine naming this character Belly. Now we have second book in the If Love series. This was like the continuation of the first one, but like 5 years passed in between. And when I tell you I screamed when I saw that it took them 5 whole years, they were apart for 5 whole years before they got reunited. It was still good though. And I listened to this on an audiobook, Good Girl by Piper Lawson. So I was like, I want a rock star romance book in my life. I want it. And there's just not a lot to go around. And this one, again, this is why I can't do audiobooks, because I was not listening that well. I don't know, she was in school and then goes on tour maybe with the band, and obviously she's getting with like the main guy in it. And there was some confusing backstory. Again, I hate the family dynamic backstories, and they're like, oh, our lives are all interconnected. Just give me the romance, just give me the relationship. Someone wouldn't sign off on some paperwork, so then she literally just wasn't going to school anymore. Like, she just like paused going to school to go on tour with them. What? Why are we upruling our lives like that? Upruling? Upheavaling? Something like that. I think we can tell I'm not reading fine literature because I'm not learning new words. I bought this one. Did I not buy this book? I have this book. Okay, I'm literally missing books. I'm going crazy right now. I don't know where this book is. Anyways, then I read Daydream by Hannah Grace. And again, she is just another one of those authors that like I think I will read anything that she writes, just because I just really do enjoy the way that she writes. So this is the third book in the series. I think Icebreaker started off the strongest. The first one, and everyone was like, oh no, he was so dirty, filthy. Nah. It was not that bad. Okay? Do we have different standards? I guess it did contain a lot. But like it wasn't anything absurd, okay? It's a cute love story and I liked it. And then Daydream was like a new girl character that was introduced in the first two, but she gets with one of the boys on the hockey team. Again, I guess I just love the hockey romances. I know nothing about hockey, but I'll be reading those books. It was a bit long. I will give you that. It got a little bit long. They were just yapping on and on about personal issues, and I was like, just take your clothes off. Sorry. Well, then going from that to a different, then you know, if that's the mindset that I have, well, that's good, because then I read this Lights Out book. It's definitely on the lighter side of dark romance, especially compared to like The Ritual, where he'd be like drugging her and they'd be thrashing and bashing in like the woods. Anyways, in this one, the girl is like a trauma nurse. Okay, this is like the beginning, but yes, I'm remembering now. See, look at me using my memory and actually remembering what I read about. So she doesn't have much free time because she's working a lot. So her guilty pleasure is to go on TikTok and to look at thirst traps by men in masks. Sure thing, go you. And she sent like one of the videos of one of these thirst trap men, her favorite thirst trapper, to some guy that she like had hooked up with like a couple months ago. And she was like, oh wow, has it really been that long that I haven't spoken to him? She was like, I've had no bodily contact in a while. So she sends it to him, and then he's like, we have not spoken in a bit. I literally have a girlfriend now, and also that's like weird. I'm not putting on a mask and having sexy playtime with you like that. And then he shows the text to his roommate, and he's like, look at this weird stuff that she sent me. And then the roommate is just looking at it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's kind of odd. But in his head, he's screaming because it's him. He's the thirst trap man. He's the masked man in the thirst traps. But then he's like, oh, she's into that. Oh, she's into that. So he decides to, as one does, don't do this. Yeah, he like breaks into her house and makes a thirst trap in her bedroom and posts it. And then she's like, man, this really looks like my bedroom. And yeah, that's just how it kind of went. Things like that. Also, at one point, took a knife and stabbed it into her mattress, and then told her to get on it. And Then he bought our new mattress. We love a thoughtful man like that. Now moving off of what I just described to you, then I read a book just called Smut. Straight up just called Smut. I will say, like this one had way more like actual smut and spice compared to this one. So honestly, they should have maybe reserved this title for something more fitting, but it's okay. I think they just like didn't like each other. Like there's like bickering and stuff. They got teamed up for this like partner writing project. And then somewhere along the line, they're like, you know what, we write well together. Let's make some money by publishing like some ridiculously like smutty books on Amazon. They're like, let's just like make up some like stupid pen name and let's publish these books together. And apparently they just started making a bunch of money doing that. Wonderful. And of course they had their own fun time during it as well. Because, you know, if you're gonna write it, you gotta live it too. Maybe not. That doesn't go from half of the books that I read. Some of these books should never be acted out in real life. Okay, now I try to have these all aesthetically sitting up next to me because I don't have like nice bookshelves to sit in front of like all the other BookTube people, and I just want it to feel special. Next, because I just can't take hobbies lightly. I can't just read books and I can't do it lightly, because then I start realizing like, oh wow, all these authors are, you know, this publishing house is publishing them, they're from this imprint, like, I start deep diving. Actually, I don't deep dive very much. I literally just, I'm probably one of the few people who like will check and see who's published it when it's published, all that stuff in the front. Anyways, then I read a book called The Publishing Business, where I learned about the publishing business, and I truly, like, I had no idea how books are published or anything. I realized that you're coming here for the romance books, you're probably like, why are you reading this? You know, you never know. You never know when you need to know about the publishing business. And like, you know, when I say like I read, like she's highlighted, it's highlighted. I learned way more complex than I ever knew. Okay, and then this was another audio book I listened to. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, because I had seen the movie and I was like, okay, I've never read a Colleen Hoover book. I just need the experience. Obviously, she's such a big author name. I was like, something's gotta be going good. Obviously, I already knew what happened, but it was like, okay, it was still cool to, I guess, read the book. And then another educational read. No, an actual educational read. I'm not making a joke about learning stuff. Before and after the book deal. Because apparently, I need to know about book deals. And you're like, did you really read that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. You see those? I highlight. Okay, actually, I don't know if you're interested in actually learning. This one was actually like a very easy read. Like, I was enjoying reading it because it was written very casually, and that's honestly how educational texts should be written, because I enjoyed it. And then we have, then my girl Anna Huang. She came out with The Striker. This was her first sports romance. This was Asher Donovan, and he, it's like British soccer. Is it British? It's like football soccer, you know? Whatever that is. And the girl was like a ballerina, and then she had some tragic accident, because of course, these characters all have to have tragic backstories. So now she's just like a ballet teacher, and then Asher gets put onto this new team, and the team is with Scarlett's brother, and then Scarlett has to train Asher and her brother over this summer. So they stop fighting because they're just bickering boys from different teams. But then the brother has to go take care of something and somewhere else. So then she's just stuck alone, training him all alone. Yeah. An educational read. Law and authors. Apparently, I was being a lawyer. No, like what? It's highlighted. I'm telling you, like, I read these books and I'm reading them. Why did I enjoy this so much? Like, I actually learned so much about it. You see? At least I'm having some of my reads educational, so no one can ever say that I just read questionable things. Because look at me learning the law of copyright materials and such. Good information to have in your life. You never know. All right. And then I was like, well, that's enough educational reading for me. I'm going to read Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton, where at one point they're on a ship and the guy like bites her lip and she's bleeding, and then he shoves her head down into shark-infested waters. And then they get stranded on some like lighthouse island thing in the middle of nowhere with some creepy man who lives there, and they were just going crazy with each other in the caves and stuff, and then they'd be like, I hate you. Okay, take off your pants. Yeah, you know? You only got so much to do when you're trapped at a lighthouse, so. And then I feel like I did such a 180 from whatever in the world dark romance that was to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Because, you know, you just gotta read the really, like, rancid ones and then just follow it up with a light, fluffy, small-town read. I've seen this one be talked about, like, a good amount. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna be reading the second one in this series. It just, the plot, she wasn't really there. Like, and I'm not saying the plot wasn't there because they were just like going at it with each other the whole time. No, that like didn't happen very often in this book. It was just like kind of a bland plot. It was not that exciting to me. I mean, it really wasn't. And then I just got frustrated at the end. I don't know. It was just dumb. I don't even want to give away the end, but I don't know. They just so easily forgave someone who was like trying to destroy this cafe because I don't know. Don't want it. Don't want it. And next we have, see, we're almost done. My Christmas read, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. This was my first book of hers that I have read, and like I was just seeing hype everywhere, and apparently suspicious things were being done with the candy cane. I will say, because I was sold on the point, that sold me. I literally was told that like she was around with a candy cane, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read this book. That's enough to sell me a book. Don't know, you know? It certainly was. Seeing that was the selling point of the book, I was having the expectation of this being like a very spicy, woo, yeah, book. You know, sometimes you need that in your life, especially after I just read the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I was like, yeah, okay, let's switch it up a little bit. But it took a while for us to really get too much action. There wasn't that much there. And yeah, I don't know, they were just competing in their town's like Christmas competition thing. Like the girl had to go there with her sister to take care of her aunt who like broke her hip or something. Then they get with this boy in the town who's like really grumpy, but he's really grumpy because he doesn't like Christmas because like his family's dead. Done. We are approaching the end. If I can find this book. And I read What Editors Do. You never know when you need to be an editor. Again, I learned lots of things about the book publishing process. I don't think people need me to elaborate much more on that. Okay, I don't know if this really counts as a read, but the Adobe Illustrator book. You know what? It is over 400 pages, and I have read every single word in it, and I did every single tutorial because I just need to know how to use Adobe Illustrator better in my life. So this is actually so helpful. Wonderful. And then, look at me being educational. I read How to Be Your Own Literary Agent. While reading it, I was like, I don't think I want to be a literary agent for anyone else. But you know, again, I just learned stuff about the whole publishing business, the whole publishing world and stuff. It makes me appreciate the books a whole lot more, okay? I'm so sorry, books. After I just say I appreciate them and then I was a whack them off the table. The last one, which is good because my camera's dying, which means I've also been talking for probably an hour and a half. Speed, go. I'm gonna be mad if it dies before I can finish. Okay, and then I read the third, If Love Had a Price by Anna Huang. It was also a cute one. This was different characters that we were introduced in the first one. So yeah, I just like Anna Huang, I really do. And there's me and my books. And I will continue reading this year. And stick around for apparently more book content on here because this became my hobby. We can tell, like, that's crazy. I literally read almost 50 books and then I probably read like a couple random things on Wattpad. So basically 50, okay? We basically made it there. So please send me your book recommendations. I think we can tell that I'm very much into mainly the very basic, like, book talk books. Like, please, that's what I like. That's what I will be reading. Give me the cliches, give me all of them, and I'll be happy. My camera did die before I said bye. How dare it? I forgot what I was saying. I was talking fast, and now I forget what I was saying. I guess I have not looked to see if other people have videos that are also like this long, but I mean, you gotta go through all the books you read. Like, that takes time, right? Is no one else making these videos? I don't know. I don't need to add more books to like the future books I'm going to read. It's long enough. Like, I literally have 100 books listed out. And with that, we'll see you next week. Nice books. Well, you know what? It's okay. It's only the pumpkin spice cafe that fell. I can fall on the ground.